It's time to announce this week's Southern Tier Tuesday winner. Congratulations to Rescue Dogs, Rescue Soldiers. The nonprofit is being awarded $2,000 from Upstate Shredding and Adam and Clover Weitzman. Joining us now in the studio is president and founder of the nonprofit, Liz Keller. How are you doing today?
We're doing great, thank you.
So can you tell us a brief history about your nonprofit and a little bit about what your goals are?
Sure. In 2014, we formed the organization, and a lot of it was due to the fact that we were seeing a lot of stories about the veterans coming home from Iraq and Afghanistan, and they were suffering from some serious disabilities. So we also were working very closely with New York City Animal Care and Control, where a lot of young dogs were being surrendered just because they were not behaving well in the home. So it was kind of a match made in heaven. So we were able to work with these dogs because they had high energy, high drive, and the veterans just really did well with them. And our goal is to continue to serve, providing emotional support dogs and service dogs to the veterans.
So what types of dogs are accepted into this program?
We usually select our own from the shelters, and right now it's mostly pit bull or pit mixes because they're the #1 dog that's surrendered and usually slated for euthanasia due to the activity level that escalates in the shelter. But we also work with shepherd mixes and mastiff mixes. We've had a couple that have done really well.
So is this just for Iraqi and Afghanistan veterans, or are there other veterans that can also apply if they have post-traumatic stress or maybe other sorts of...
Right. As we go along, we've had a couple of veterans from Vietnam even that have taken dogs from us, and they were placed, and they do really well. So we don't limit it. That was our mission statement, and we do work with them the most. But we've worked with children that have had some issues that we place dogs with, and we also have worked with veterans from different wars.
I also saw that you do work with teens in juvenile detention centers. So how does that work? Do you bring the dogs to
Right.
the
We
detention
actually
center?
had the first program on Rikers Island. Unfortunately, COVID stopped some of the programs, and we're just getting back into it. And then Rikers Island, our dogs lived with the juvenile units for 8 weeks, and they did the training, and we were even able to have one of the veterans come in for graduation and receive the dog from the boys, which was amazing for them. They felt so proud of what they did, and these were kids that were in there because they did something wrong, but it showed them that they can turn their lives around. So that was an amazing program. Currently, we're going back and setting up with Goshen Secure in Orange County, where the dogs visit as therapy dogs, and it brings a lot of peace and love to the boys while they're incarcerated, and it gives them a little bit of training too. We teach them how to train, so when they go home, they have something to work with as a skill in addition to whatever they're learning at the facility, and they just love the dogs.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I love that part of the program. I get a lot of pleasure out of that.
Yeah, I've been seeing it more and more, especially with like prison facilities bringing in animals, because, I mean, scientifically proven, it's shown that if you have a lot of communication and you're petting animals and stuff, it does lower like cortisol levels and stress and all of that. So yeah,
it brings a lot of things that you don't even expect, because at Rikers they never let different units work together because of gang affiliations and everything. But we were the only program where the units could work together and cohabitate without any fights. There were no fights in the wards that had the dogs. It was, and they were so concerned about the dogs, which is amazed me a little bit, because some of them were in there for some serious issues, but they would never like want to touch the dog's collar and make him choke or pull. They were so genuinely concerned about the dog's welfare. It was really lovely to see that.
So can you tell us a little bit about the Sherburne American Legion Riders 876 charity ride?
Sure. They've done this now. This, I think, is the 3rd year, and they know that we work with veterans, and they just have been so supportive. And they do this bike run, which has a big turnout, and the more the merrier, because they have like a silent auction when the run is almost over. And it's a great organization of men and women, and we just love that they help us, and we want to do anything we can to help support them also.
So what's actually like the bike run? Because I've never heard of that.
Oh, it's really cool. If you get there when there's registration, everybody comes in on their motorcycles. And,
oh, okay.
Yeah, and then they they sign in and then they take off. It's loud and crazy.
Yeah,
and they have an actual route that they follow. One year they did it in the pouring rain, and I really felt bad for the riders, but last year was sunny and gorgeous, and they had an awesome turnout.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
Yeah, that's, whoa. So what is going to be auctioned at the silent auction?
Oh, they have everything. And then a lot of the local businesses in Sherburne support the event, car dealerships, local agencies, and they just have amazing items, jewelry, anything. It goes from one end to the other of the gamut of items for the auction, and you can choose and pick where you want to put the tickets, and they get a really large amount of donations for that.
You had me at jewelry and clothing.
Okay.
So with the check, what are your plans for using it?
Well, I was mentioning earlier, we have an area that we just started working on. It's going to be called Peace and Pause Camp, where we're going to be able to do more localized, like, training with the service dogs, and the veterans can come up and spend more time. It's a very peaceful environment. So we're probably going to be working on getting that up to speed. Okay. But we will use it probably for, like, we use a lot of dog treats, and everything has gone up. I mean, everyone knows that. Yeah. The cost of dog food, even though we get donations, these will be used for hands-on training for the dogs, for the veterans.
All right, great. Well, I want to thank you for coming on today.
Well, thank you for having me here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. So for those of you who might have missed the details, Rescue Dogs, Rescue Soldiers is a nonprofit that trains rescue dogs to become service animals for soldiers injured in Iraq and Afghanistan and other places. Rescue Dog, Rescue Soldiers also helps troubled teens in juvenile detention. The Sherburne American Legion Riders 876 charity ride to benefit Rescue Dogs, Rescue Soldiers event will additionally be held on July 8th, rain or shine, at 9:30 a.m. For more information on the event, please visit rescuedogsrescuesoldiers.org. For more on previous grant recipients, be sure to check out Southern Tier Tuesdays on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and make sure to make every Tuesday count. Scan the QR code on your screen to nominate your favorite nonprofit for a chance to receive a $2,000 grant.